Okay, welcome back to Architecting on AWS. This is the last module, module 13, about the backup and recovery. So which backup and recovery component do you work with? I don't think we have the tape retrievals. Yeah, probably we have the co-location facilities, offsite backup, on-premise backup. Mostly, I think we do the D, on-premise backup. In these last modules, we will discuss about disaster planning, AWS backup, and then recovery strategy. And at the end, we will see the knowledge check. So you actually receive a question from the technology CTO of what strategy can we use to protect ourselves in the event disaster. Yeah. So we need to prepare from the disaster or having the disaster planning. How can we centralize and automate our backup strategy? So here we will do the backup and then use the strategy to optimize our backup. And then the last question is, which disaster recovery strategy minimizes the downtime, but it also cost effective? Yeah. So if you remember that the MTTBR, yeah, mean time before a recovery, or mean MTTR, mean time to MTTR to recovery. Yeah, so that's some. I think most of you already know this concept. Yeah. So the longer between one disaster, one meaning that's downtime, meaning that's the yeah the the downtime, meaning that between the longer that's the better. Yeah, so meaning that there are not so many event where you having the you have to shut down, or it's pushed to shut down, or actually happens that there is a crash on your system. The longer that's not happen, the better. Yeah, but when it's happened, then the shortest time to recovery back, the better. Yeah, you don't want to wait until 1 week or 1 day. Yeah, like some of clients of BSI bank have to wait until 1 week until they can access their application, yeah, banking application. So the longer that time to recovery, the worse it can happen. Yeah. So let's start with disaster planning. The one of the reason of why an application crash, because it's lack of the testing. The minimum testing you do, the more that you will miss the bug, and then the biggest chance that your application will be crash. Yeah, and then it's because of the complexity of the system. Yeah, and then it's caused the complex recovery parts. There are certain step before it can fully recovery. That's that also not good, yeah, because it's meaning that it's taking a time before it can back to the normal. And then lack of the sufficient resource, yeah, during the peak time, if you don't automate your servers, yeah, to scale, automate scaling your server with, for instance, in AWS, or using the auto scaling, or not using the service that can automatically scalable, like DynamoDB, yeah, or Aurora serverless, then it's can cause the crash, yeah. Or based on your planning, you have an outdated plans and change not factored, meaning that you do the changing and then you not consider the effect of this changing. Sometimes you change one in one place, it will affect to other place. Yeah. Now we already have the concept of AZ, we multiple AZ. Yeah, we also have a concept of redundant. We also have a concept of active, passive. Yeah, we have the standby. Yeah. That's all actually the concept that support the high availability, meaning that whenever your customer need your service, it's available. Yeah. And also that's mean also that's fault tolerance. Even there is problems, there is a crash, your system still can run. Yeah. Uh, Meaning that you prepare for the for the yeah for the fall. Yeah. That's why we put in the multi-AZ, for instance. We put a redundant, we put the duplicate replica. Yeah. So whenever it's the primary primary one has a problems, then you can promote the standby one. Yeah. The other thing that you have to think about the availability concept is the backup. Yeah. Meaning that when something happens, yeah, you are not lose your most of your data, because you already make a backup in somewhere, and then you can restore back. Yeah. And then that's also that's meaning that you have to prepare your disaster recovery. Yeah. The You have to plan uh, to get back your application and data in major disaster. Now we already have this discussion before that we have between in one region we already have a multi availability zone in one region. This is about region itself. Yeah. So if one region have problems, then you can have a, a, a backup, or the failover is will go to other region, standby region. Yeah. So plan for instant failover, plan for availability zone failover. You can plan for regional even failover. Yeah. You can imagine that, for instance, that there will be flood or earthquake in US, but you can still, if you have a standby services or replica here in UK, example, then your service can still available. This is recovery point objective, and then recovery time objective. What you want to do is to minimize the data loss That's when you use the recovery point objective. How often that you need to back up your data. Okay. And then when it's happened, how long that can be return back to the normal? And how can the application be available, unavailable? How long it will taking? Yeah. The shortest time that you provide, the better. Yeah. So the recovery point, meaning that example that you have a 24 hours process. Yeah. And then every 12 o'clock in the midnight, you will do the backup. Meaning for another 12 hours, it's not in backup. Oh, yeah. So when something happens, you backup every 12 hours, meaning that you can lose in that point, you can lose about 12 hours of data that's in the process. Yeah. So that is the recovery point objective. The shortest you make, yeah, backup, the meaning that's the better, the most of, meaning it's most of the data can be backup. Yeah. However, there will be a trade-off. For instance, the more you make a backup, the more that you have to store your backup, and then you have to pay the price for the file that you do the backup. Yeah. Or yeah, the more that you do the process, meaning that's also the more transaction that you have to pay. Yeah. So here, this is the essential AWS services for the disaster recovery. Of course, it's very important to have the storage, and then the compute services that we have, yeah, and then the networking, the database, and then the deployment and orchestration, yeah, like ECS or EKS. That also the disaster also meaning that you have to, yeah, you have something like we learned before. For instance, if you put, for instance, that's your infrastructure in infrastructure as code, the recovery is easier. You can automate this. Yeah, but if you do, for instance, your service manually, yeah, you through the console, yeah, meaning that when it's happened in one region and you have to move to other region, for instance, then you do um, manually and it's taking time. Yeah. So that's also what we important of how we can do the deployment orchestration. Yeah. One thing you can do, of course, you can do you can duplicate your data or yeah, your data essentially. Yeah. In Amazon S3, what you can do, you can duplicate your storage, yeah, to the S3 cross-region replication. Yeah. So you again remember that S3 itself is not inside the VPC, it's global. However, the data itself, you have to choose which region that will, in which region it will stay. Now, if something happened in that region, you will lose your data that you store in S3. So what you can do is you can duplicate this Amazon S3 bucket or data to other region. You can also do the for the S3 glacier, you can store data in regional file, and then you can update inventory daily. For the EBS, what you can do, you can create point in time volume snapshot. Yeah, you cannot just replicate or make a duplicate like in Amazon S3, but for the EBS, you like you capture, yeah, you capture as a snapshot, yeah, for the point of time your volume, yeah, and you copy the snapshot across region and you put, for instance, the snapshot in the S3 in different region, yeah. What you can do also, you can make a backup using the Snow family. You know, this is this offline one, yeah. Then you can transfer a large data volume, yeah, larger than 10 terabytes and fast in the high speed, rather to make through the internet. The other things that we already discussed before, that you can sync the data, yeah. So what happened in on-premise, you can still have in your cloud, and the other way around, in something happens on your cloud, you still have in your on-premise. Oops. Why? You may also prepare your disaster recovery by having your your MI. Remember that using the MI, you can create or you can launch the EC2 repeatable, meaning that you can launch again and again with one AMI with the same template and the same what you already did for the previous EC2. Yeah. So that's here you can configure AMI for recovery, where you can obtain boot a new server instance for the container within a minute. Yeah. So the analogy is the same, like you have the USB that's can reboot the Windows example. Yeah, that it has the booting in the, and then you can boot your computer when you have a problem with your hard disk. Yeah, you still can on the Windows using using your USB flash disk. Yeah. Or you can use the ECS, where you can have your container image, and then this container image can create a container, the same like what we define on the container image. Here, as we already discussed before, we can also have the failover network. We know that in Amazon Route 53, we can choose the traffic distribution that can cover the failover, where this whenever is detect unhealthy resource or unavailable resource, then it will reassign the traffic to other resource. Yeah. The same in ELB, it can do the health check and then also do the failover. For the Amazon Future Private Cloud, you extend on-premise network topology. Yeah, we already discussed before. And then with AWS Direct Connect, here also that's you can connect your on-premise with your cloud. Yeah, so anything happens to the cloud, you still have the backup to your on-premise. Database backup and replicas. In RDS, you can take the snapshot of data and save in the snapshot in spread region. Again, same like we did for the EBS. Yeah, you can take a snapshot and you can store the S3 in the different region. And then you can use also the multi-AZ cluster deployment. Okay, again, like we discussed yesterday, you can have the standby instance, the standby replica. Also, you can create the read replicas. And then you also can retain automated backup when you use the Amazon RDS. Here in Amazon DynamoDB, you can back up full table in second. You can use point of time recovery to continuous backup for up to 35 days. Then you can initiate backup with single click in the console or single API call. You can use the global tables. Remember, that's global tables. It will automatically update your tables, synchronize the tables in the different region. Yeah, so that's the features that provided by the Amazon DynamoDB. CloudFormation, again, this is infrastructure as code. Sorry, infrastructure as code. You can use the CloudFormation. Otherwise, if you want to use the third party, you can use the Terraform. I think the Terraform is the most well-known tools for the infrastructure as code. Yeah, but yeah, again, that's you can still use your AWS CloudFormation, where your infrastructure can be built again very easy by executing the command of your AWS CloudFormation, yeah, or your template. The CloudFormation support the template in YAML or in in other in Python. Yeah. So you can use also the script to automate the provisioning of infrastructure in the cloud. Okay. Is it clear for the recovery? Okay, thank you, Pak Yusuf. Thank you, Pak Isan. So for backup, we have a fully managed service that can centralize automate and data protection and backup across the AWS resource like EC2, DynamoDB, Aurora, Amazon RDS, and then other storage like EFS, EBS, FSX, and storage gateway. Yeah, so all this can be centralized using the AWS backup. So with this centralized backup, it simplifies the complexity to do the backup. Yeah, it's you can put in once. Yeah, and it can be policy-based and tech-based backup solution. Yeah, and automated backup scheduling. You can do the automated backup scheduling. So here, what is important here that you have to know here is the tech-based backup. Actually, it is a best practice for AWS that you always give a tech name for your resource. Yeah, I think in the first day we already discussed this that more tech is better than don't have any tech. Yeah, so you can do the filtering. Yeah, you can recognize your tech. Yeah, so that's why also when you have the tech, it's you what another benefit that you can have this that you can use the tech-based backup solution in the AWS backup. The comply it's also comply to uh, to the monitoring and logs centralized backup activity. It's also comply to backup access policy, and then also the encryption of your backup. So with this backup also, you can control the costs. Yeah, it's automated management of backup retention. You don't have to pay anything for doing the centralized backup or to do the orchestration of your backup. So this is the concept how actually AWS backup work. So first you create the backup plan. It includes the schedule, life cycles, yeah, and then the place where you can put your secret, yeah, the fault, and text for the backup. Yeah, schedule meaning that's yeah you can schedule based on the point of uh, point of recovery, yeah, or it's a schedule of time, yeah, when you will do that. Yeah. Now the life cycles, you remember in S3, yeah, you can set the life cycles. After some time, it will move to the to to the to the lowest cost of your storage, yeah, and then also to the infrequent access storage. Now you can put that in your life cycle in your backup plan. And then you can assign the resource that will be use this plan. Yeah, you can assign the tag. Yeah, or you can use the resource ID. Remember that when we have our JSON. Yeah, remember that we yeah in the cloud trail, for instance, we'll see that resource ID. Yeah, and then you can specify also the IAM role in order to to do the backup. And then AWS backup automatically run the backup based on your plan, based on the schedule, based on the life cycles. Yeah. And then centrally, you can manage the backup, and centrally, you can monitor the backup activity. Any questions? Okay, Pak Yusuf, if we back up our resource to other region, do we need to have another account in that region? A good question. No. What I can say here, okay, let me show you in this. Okay, now example here, where you now I'm in North Virginia region. You can see this. I'm in North Virginia region. So here, for instance, I have S3. Okay, and then after that, I want to back up at, for instance, US West 1, North California. So I go here now, and I'm in North California region, and I create my S3. You see that I use the same account here. Is it clear, Pak Yusuf? And if I use the DynamoDB, automatically it will create backup in three different regions. Yeah, automatically. Yeah, I don't have to do that. It's already will be have at least in the three region. Okay, Pak. I hope I answer your question. Yes. No, in one account, you can choose any region you like. Remember that in the first day, that when before you use any service of your S3, you have to decide your region. Yeah, why? And why we choose that reason? That region. There are four reasons why before we decided, or there are four factors that we have to clear about it. Yeah, remember yesterday? First example, we have to comply the law. Yeah, for instance, that you cannot go for other region. Yeah, yeah, example of that. So you have to choose the specific region. Yeah, for instance, now in Indonesia, if I'm the oil company and I want to use this, I have to choose the Indonesian region. Example. Yeah, just example. And then the second one, not all service available in every region. Yeah, that also we have to consider. And the latency, the cost is different between. So the cost that, for instance, I have S3 here, the cost that when I create in US West and US East, it could be different. Yeah. So you can see from the cost, you can see that every region can have the same price, but it also can be different. Yeah. So again, one account here, you can choose any region here. Okay, unless for the specific one like a billing, I cannot choose any other region. I only can use the US East one for the billing. Yeah. So for instance here, let me check here billing. the billing and cost management. Okay. Now here, it's global. Yeah, sorry. Let me check what others that which billing I billing. Okay, let me check billing preference. Oh, it's global also. Okay. Now, I don't know this is update. When I first use that for billing, I have to choose only when I choose it's not global, but I only can choose this one. The rest actually not available. Yeah, the rest is gray like this. Yeah. Now I think that's now they only make automatically global. Okay. So again, back to your question. So our account has different setting in other regions. In other region, yes, you can change from one region to other region. Okay. Okay, Pak Yusuf, am I answer your question? Okay, let's move. Okay, if there is no no other questions, I have a question for you. Why we have to monitor our backup? Any thought on this? Pak Adi, Pak Abdil, Pak Ferdanda, Ibu Gil, or anybody? Why we need to monitor our backup? Pak Haidar, to make sure there is no data loss and recovery time doesn't long. You have to decide that. Actually, you already do in the plan, Pak. You have to decide that the the data point, the schedule. Yeah. So that's I mean that's now you already have a plan. It's running. Why we have to monitor this? For high availability, no, Pak. It sure reliability, integrity, and availability of your data. Uh, Actually, this is responsible of AWS. Yeah, when you already decided the backup, AWS will make sure that you can do restore, and then you make sure that no data loss when you do the restore. That's not our responsibility. So what? Why we need to? Yeah, Pak Adi, ensure the backup goes well. Of course, Pak. Okay. But why? What happened when it's not going well? When you do the backup, actually you make sure there is no loss. Yeah. So why we have to monitor? Do we not really what do you call this? Uh, Believe in the way how the AWS do the backup? Backup plan, if something wrong, that's things that the AWS want to avoid. To detect and respond to security threat, no. So you make sure, for instance, you back up your EBS, you back up your RDS through the snapshot. When you make a snapshot and then you store this backup, this snapshot file into S3, yeah. Meaning what? Every time it's doing the backup, you access and you put the S3. The more you put, the more you have to pay. Yeah. So you have to also consider that you don't want to have a backup, but you spend a lot of money on your backup. Yeah. So you have to optimize that. Yeah. So that's why you have to monitor. Yeah. Until of course, after sometimes your backup, you want to delete the backup, right? Because you already have another backup, right? That cover that's the old backup before. Yeah. So uh, that's why you have to monitor. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So let's move to recovery strategy. We'll talk about the backup and restore, the pilot light, and warm standby, and we will talk about the multi-site active and active, or we already know that's standby active. Now we will do the multi-site active. So here in the backup and restore, in this example, in the traditional uh, way, yeah. So you back up your remote server to the S3. You put in the S3 bucket, and then remember that the most cheapest one if you go to the Glacier. Yeah, and then if again if you need to restore your data and you also consider when you can use that data from your storage, then you have considered the type of your S3. Yeah, the cheapest one here, but we have to wait up to or less to 12 hours. Yeah, if you want to do more, you can wait until 1 minute until 1 hour. You can choose another one. Yeah, or then if you want to uh, store for a long time, and but then when it's necessary, it can instantly can be used. Then you can use other type of S3. Yeah. Now here example that's you put on your bucket S3 bucket, and then you turn on your live policy. After some time, it will be move automatically to the class that you want, S3 class that you want to have. Yeah. So for instance, uh, after 1 month, it will go to S3 standard IA, infrequent access. And after 1 year, it will goes to Amazon S3 Glacier. You don't have to do by yourself. Yeah. What you can do is, that you set the life cycle and then it will do automatically on behalf of you. Yeah. Now, again, that's here. Um, the the this is the backup, and the store, you can also, for instance, that you don't use the server anymore, you can use from your bucket directly to your uh, EC2 instance, yeah, to the different what do you call it? Disaster recovery region, so a different region, yeah. Now the pilot light example here, it's very cost effective use. It's use fewer 24/7 resource, yeah. So what you can do, you can use the Route 53 hosted zone, yeah, and then uh, you can have the data replicate, yeah, from your database primary to your secondary, yeah, or the standby one, yeah, and then here the recovery, yeah, will when you see here the web server and the app server, this EC2 is not running. Okay, now here when meaning that here you can reduce your cost, because remember that EC2 is you have to pay whenever it's running, yeah. So when it's running, you have to pay. Now in this pilot light example, in this pilot light, yeah, this EC2 is not running. So whenever happens, say this is down, yeah, this is down, then you can start the EC2, yeah, the same like it will start in minutes. The same like I give you the demonstration when I create and launch a new EC2, it will take time, yeah, but it will not until 5 minutes or even 10 minutes or 1 hour, yeah. So it will be within a minutes, it it can be running, yeah. So if you don't mind, if I mean that's your service, if your what do you call it, your client don't mind to have 1 minute after that it's available again, yeah, then you can use this with a more cheaper cost, yeah, compared to other system, yeah, to other strategy, yeah. So this the difference is because your backup here will you don't have to pay because it's not running, and when something happens, you turn on the EC2 and you can do the recovery, yeah, within a minute, and then your your system or your application is running again, okay, and your primary, the secondary will be promoted and then will be the same. It has the same data from before this primary down, yeah. So this is way how you can make your recovery a bit cheaper, yeah, because it's not running when it's not necessary. And the other strategy is when one standby, yeah, where actually your workload here it's running, but at low capacity. You pay, yeah, you pay, but in the low capacity, you pay less. But what the threat, the the benefit of doing this, rather the trade-off, you have to pay the cost because it's running. Yeah, it's cheaper than you do the full running, like we launch the normal EC2. Yeah, but then when your system down here, it's faster than the pilot light. You see that the difference? It can scaling up full capacity when it's needed. Yeah, meaning that when the problems with our system, automatically it will be go to full capacity. So in this case, it's much faster compared to the pilot light here. Yeah, but of course the trade-off you have to pay, although it is not as expensive as when you do the normal launching of your EC2 or auto scaling group. Now, the multi-site active, this is the the most the most expensive one, because actually both of them are active. Yeah, so it's running in full capacity, meaning you pay double. Yeah, you pay double for your production and for your backup. Yeah, for when uh, when one of them is down, automatically it will be serve the system in full capacity. Yeah, so the different, like before, that uh, you have to increase this the full capacity until it's full capacity here. Yeah, from the low capacity, and then you scale up to the full capacity. Sorry, from running low capacity to running in full. Yeah, but here, anytime it's already full. But of course, it's much expensive other than the first two. Okay. So it's look like you have redundant. Yeah, both of them are ready. Yeah, both of them are ready. So it's up to you, to your use case. For instance, that if you're running things that cannot down at any second, for instance, uh, for the health, for instance, for the critical system, like system for health system, yeah, things like that can cause chaos. It can cause when even is one second, or can cause something, then you may want to have this active. Yeah, so it's really depend on your requirement. Yeah, whether you can wait certain minutes with the pilot light, or you already have you only wait for the full capacity. Yeah, or you want to have all the full capacity from once. Yeah, so up to you, up to your use case, which one that fit to your requirements. Yeah, so the more to the right, to the left, it's the cost is lower. Yeah, but the the recovery point objective and recovery time objective will be much longer. You go to right, it's much expensive, but the recovery point objective or recovery time objective, it's close to real time, meaning that there will be no, yeah, it seamlessly move from one backup to recovery, yeah, from the system down to the recovery. It's almost real time. You don't feel it, yeah. Okay, so that's the choice that you have to take, yeah, from your which disaster recovery that you want to choose. Okay, that's all. Any questions? Any questions? Remember, we have 3 pilot light. Yeah, we have warm standby and we have active active. Yeah. Okay. Any question? Now I think that's we can answer the question. This question. We have the recovery strategy. Yeah. We have the recovery plan. Yeah. We can have the centralized backup. Yeah. And then we we can decide whether to have pilot light or warm standby or warm standby, or the other one is the active active. Yeah. So that's all, and let's do the last knowledge check here. Which disaster recovery model offer RTO in minutes at the lowest cost? Which one? A, yeah. Warm standby. Warm standby? No, it's much faster. Yeah, because why? You just what you can do here in warm standby, actually you start the the uh, the the workload here in minutes, but it is not a lowest cost. Which one the lowest cost? And you still have wait a minute. It is the pilot, right? This is correct for the in minutes, yeah, but it's not a lowest cost, yeah. The right one is the pilot, yeah. This one the most expensive one, yeah, and this is not correct. Which metric define how often data must be backup? Which one? B, yeah. This is for the time. Yeah, this is point. Yeah, so it is mentioned about the often the time. Okay, so this is not correct. This is not correct. Which following are features of AWS backup? Is it include the encryption? Yes. Is it across every AWS service? All the service? No, it's only certain service. If you see here, Yeah, this is what that can centralize by the backup. Okay, so not all the not all the all every service. Okay, work across multiple service. Yes, there are several services that can be centralized. Automated failover to read replicas is not about the replicas. You can do incremental backup. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Uh, it's automated machine conversion. No, this is not about the conversion. What is the best way to make an existing Amazon RDS DB instant highly available and minimize your RTO? So we have to minimize RTO, yeah, and then we have to, the objective is to have the high availability. Run a secondary copy of DB instant in another region. Can we do in cross region? Can we do? No, you cannot. Yeah. Now only the this DynamoDB global table can do that. Yeah. So it must be in the same region. Yeah. And then this is for the yeah, the same region for the RDS. Yeah. And then you put in multi AZ. Yeah. Now again, this is not correct. Okay, create replica. Okay, this is only for reading. Remember that's reduce. Uh, yeah, if you don't have the read replica, it's not for the backup, but for the operation of your retrieving your data. Yeah, that's much faster with the read replica. So the correct answer is B. Okay, that's all. Thank you for these 3 days. Any questions? Any questions? Any question? Okay, if not, then I would like to share you. Okay, with this course, actually, you already have 2-day course with CPE with uh, Pak Reza, and then you also have the TE with Pak Reza. So that is already enough for you to go for the CCP. Yeah, it's already enough for you to go for the CCP. Uh, I'm not sure. I think that you have to ask Pak Hafid. Do we have who actually taking care the tutorials dojo for CCP? Do you remember? We have several account for tutorials dojo where you can do the practice. Yeah. Now, for instance, that Pak Iksan, yeah, by having this course and also the TE and CPE with Pak Riza, actually you can start to what they call you can prepare yourself for the CCP. And for Pak Haidar and Pak Yusuf, this is a good preparation that you can go for the, I think that both of you already registered by Ibu Eli to do the SAA course where for the AWS restart coach. Yeah, so that's a good start for you. Yeah, and my suggestion is try to what you call is try to optimize and try to your utilization of the lab. Yeah, the most expensive one is lab. Yeah, and then with a lab also it's gives you a clear picture the the material that we discuss here in the course. Yeah, so it's not theoretical. The theoretical you can read from the skill builder. Yeah, but the practice, yeah, the one that's for instance that I demonstrate. Yeah, that's thing that you can find easily in the course, the lab. So again, I suggest you both of you uh, to optimize the use of the lab. Yeah, you have 8 weeks before you can get the voucher. Yeah, and then you can go for the SAA. Pak Abdil and Pak Adi and others, you can start now to practice uh, your exam practice. Yeah, make sure you get more than 90% in order to pass the real exam. Yeah. Now here, what I would like to show you, there are two free resources you can use. One is from the digital cloud training, uh, Neil Davis here. There is a cheat sheet here actually free. Yeah. Now the good things of this Neil Davis, it's already divided or categorized into the this certification. Yeah. So for instance, for Yusuf, Pak Adi, Pak Abdil, yeah, and other that want to Haidar, you can choose this one. That it will guide you what things that you need to understand. Yeah. And for others, you can, especially Pak Isan, yeah, you can start to learn this, yeah, and then practice the exam. Yeah. Okay. The other one is Tutorial Dojo. This is the best, I think the best well-known exam practice. Yeah. Now here also there is a cheat sheet here. It is not organized like in Neil Davis here. However, here I found that many things that I don't find in other places, it actually explained here. Yeah. So yeah, you can click that, and then yeah, you can read this. Yeah, in order uh, to have more better understanding. Okay. Now these two, what I can suggest to you. Okay. And then yeah, I believe that's this would be essential for you to I mean that to exist in the technology. I mean that's if you want to work in the tech company, then one thing is to prepare certification that's needed. Yeah. Oke, saya rasa cukup sampai di sini. Oh, oke. Terima kasih sudah hadir selama 3 hari ini. Mohon maaf segala kekurangan dan mungkin ini juga pertemuan kita yang terakhir ya di media TOT ini. Eh, karena saya tanggal 27 Februari ini juga last day saya. Oke, sekali lagi terima kasih. Eh, dan ya, eh, semoga apa yang saya sampaikan bermanfaat. Ya, saya dapat feedback banyak dari Pak Reza. Ya. Ini mungkin jadi persiapan saya. Dan kelas ini juga saya sekali lagi berterima kasih sudah hadir semua karena dengan ini saya bisa latihan, saya bisa lihat kekurangan saya bisa ukur juga waktu yang saya habiskan ya supaya saya bisa lulus di AI nanti. Oke, sekali lagi terima kasih dan insya Allah sampai jumpa di lain kesempatan. Mudah-mudahan bermanfaat ya dan ya eh, dan insya Allah ketemu di lain kesempatan. Oke, saya leave ya.
Pak Iwan, maaf saya potong.